Good morning. You know, we ask questions. Why would God allow evil in the world? Why would God allow COVID-19? Meg and I were watching a documentary the other day, and it's a horrific story, but this one man's son had been taken when he was a child and he had been killed. And the interviewer asked him if he found any solace in church. And the man said, I hadn't been to church in over 40 years. And when asked why, he said, I made a deal with God, and God didn't uphold his part of the bargain. Such a sad statement, but we ask these questions. It's almost natural to ask, why would a loving God allow these things to happen? In 1964, on Good Friday, a tsunami devastated Anchorage, Alaska at 5:36 a.m. And it doesn't have to be that long ago. In 2004, the Indonesian earthquake that produced tsunamis and troubles killed over 200,000 people. Disasters, disease, and plague, war, and terror are all around us. And so when we ask these questions, when difficulties come our way, where is God? Why God? How can a loving God allow this? Well, I thought this would be good to address because, first of all, we need to know that God doesn't cause pain and suffering. Some pain and suffering is our fault because we make poor choices. Some pain and suffering is the fault of others who have made poor choices that affect us. Some is certainly due to Satan attacking us. But some is due to just natural disasters and causes in the world and disease. And we can certainly attribute that to the fact that we live in a fallen world. But God didn't create a fallen world. He created the Garden of Eden. And I don't believe there was COVID-19 in the Garden of Eden. There weren't hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, wars, and terrorists. So why doesn't an all-powerful God just snap his fingers and stop all of these things? You won't like the answer because the answer is, honestly, we don't know. Possibly if God took control of something like that, then he would have to take control of everything else in our life and rob us of the ability to make choices, to do things that we desire to do, and ultimately to make the choice to give up our desires to follow him. But this is what I do know. I do know that you are not alone. God doesn't promise us a life free from suffering and pain. And Jesus said, in this life, there will be trouble. But we do know that God is with us. Isaiah 43:2-3 says, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you walk through fire, you will not be burned. God is with us. And Jesus knows what we're going through, knows what we feel as he suffered temptation and as he was beaten and crucified. But ultimately, God doesn't send us trouble, but Romans 8:28 says that we can bring good from anything as we work them out for God's purposes. God is with us, and he's with us as we walk through pain, and as we live a life of hope, we make an influence on the world and change their lives. 2 Corinthians 4:17 addresses this a little bit, and I got the Message translation for you here because I think it's just beautiful. It says, these hard times are small potatoes compared to the good times coming, the lavish celebration prepared for us. It ends by saying in the Message, there is far more than meets the eye. The things we can't see now will last forever. So God is with us. And just think about this. If I gave you $20 to go and run 5 miles, you probably wouldn't do it. But for $1 million, even I would run 5 miles, and most people would. Because the pain and suffering is worth it if the reward is big enough. And God's reward is so big that all the pages of the Bible could not describe accurately what he has in store for us. God walks with us through the pain and suffering of life, through COVID-19, and our hope in God, who is with us, shows light and love to others. And the glory to come is far greater than anything that we're going through. I hope this gives you peace in this time as we face trouble. And ever remember that God is with you. God bless you and have a wonderful day.